I need to get this out because I have been staring at my laptop screen for 3 hours and my brain will not stop spinning. Sorry if this is all over the place. I am literally writing this at 2 a.m. because sleep is not happening tonight. My fiancé, let's call him Ryan, and I have been together for 4 years, engaged for 8 months. We are supposed to get married in 5 months. We're supposed to. I do not even know anymore. Quick background. I am 31, work in healthcare administration. Good job, stable income, nothing fancy but comfortable. Ryan is 33, works in sales for a tech company, or so I thought. We moved in together 2 years ago, got engaged last spring, started planning the wedding immediately. My parents offered to cover the venue and catering. His parents said they would handle the rehearsal dinner. Everything else was on us. We opened a joint savings account specifically for wedding expenses. The plan was simple. Each of us deposits $500 every paycheck, automatic transfer. By the wedding date, we should have around $24,000 saved, enough for flowers, photography, DJ, my dress, his suit, decorations, honeymoon deposit, all of it. I have been so focused on work lately. New position, more responsibilities, longer hours. Ryan has been handling most of the wedding vendor communications because my schedule has been insane. He would update me on deposits made, contracts signed, everything seemed fine. He is organized, was organized. I trusted him completely. Last week I logged into our joint account to check the balance before confirming the florist deposit. We should have had around $18,000 by now. The balance was $412. I refreshed the page, same number, logged out, logged back in, $412. I felt my chest tighten. Maybe there was a mistake, maybe the bank had some kind of error, maybe someone hacked us. I started scrolling through the transaction history. What I found made me physically sick. Withdrawals, cash withdrawals, 500 here, 800 there, sometimes over 1,000, going back months. All from ATMs I did not recognize. None of the vendor deposits I thought he made actually existed. The florist, the photographer, the DJ. None of them had received anything from our account. I called Ryan. He picked up on the third ring, sounding casual. Hey babe, what's up? Where is our wedding money? Silence. Long silence. Then he laughed. What do you mean? It is in the account. I am looking at the account right now, Ryan. There is $400 in it. Where's the rest? More silence. Then his voice changed, got small. I can explain. Then explain. It is complicated. Those words, it is complicated. I have heard people use that phrase before when they mean something specific. When they mean I did something I should not have and I do not want to admit it. Look, he said, I had some expenses. Work has been slow. My commissions have been down. I needed to cover some things temporarily. I was going to put it all back before you noticed. What expenses? What things? Just stuff, bills. My car payment was behind. Credit cards got a little out of control. A little out of control does not equal almost $18,000 missing. He got defensive. You do not understand the pressure I am under. You have your stable job with your guaranteed paycheck. I am in sales. Some months are good, some are bad. I have been stressed out of my mind trying to keep up. So you stole from our wedding fund instead of telling me? I did not steal it. It is our money. I was borrowing it without telling me, without asking. That is stealing, Ryan. He started crying, actually crying. I am sorry. I messed up. I will fix it. Just give me time. We can push the wedding back a few months. I will get some good sales, put it all back. Please do not be mad. I hung up. Could not listen to him anymore. Sat in the dark living room trying to process what just happened. Then I did something I probably should not have. I logged into his email. We share passwords. At least I thought we did for transparency. Turns out transparency only goes one way. His inbox was full of things I had never seen. Bank alerts about overdrafts. Collection notices from credit cards I did not know existed. And emails from something called Quick Cash Online Lending. Lots of them. Approval confirmations, payment reminders, late notices. He has been taking out payday loans. Multiple payday loans, some at 30% interest. Some higher. I kept digging. Found a folder he probably forgot to delete. Credit card statements, not our shared card. His personal cards, 4 of them. Combined balance over $42,000. My fiancé is almost $60,000 in debt and I had no idea. But here is the part that made me realize this was bigger than I thought. In the same folder I found emails from his HR department. Dated 3 months ago. He does not work at that company anymore. He was let go 3 months ago. He has been pretending to go to work every day for 3 months. He leaves at the same time every morning. Comes home at the same time every evening. Complains about his boss, talks about client meetings. All of it was fake. 3 months of complete fabrication while he drained our wedding fund and spiraled deeper into debt. I thought I was marrying someone. Turns out I was engaged to a stranger who had been lying to me about literally everything. Update 1. It has been 9 days since my last post, and I genuinely cannot believe how much has happened. Thank you to everyone who commented. Reading your responses helped me realize I was not overreacting and gave me the courage to actually do something instead of sitting paralyzed. First, let me address some things people asked. No, I have not confronted him directly yet. After discovering everything that night, I pretended nothing had changed. Smiled when he came home from his fake job, made dinner, watched TV together. It was the hardest acting performance of my life. Why did I not immediately explode at him? Because I realized I needed to protect myself first. Several commenters mentioned this, and they were absolutely right. I have no idea how deep this goes. I needed information before I tipped him off that I knew, so I started documenting everything. I screenshot every email, every transaction, every piece of evidence I could find, saved them to a cloud folder he does not have access to. Then I started making phone calls, called our bank first, explained I was concerned about unauthorized activity on our joint account. The banker I spoke with was sympathetic but said since it is a joint account, technically either party can withdraw funds. There is no legal recourse for one partner taking money from a shared account. I felt my heart sink. But then she said something interesting. She noticed several wire transfers that had been flagged by their fraud monitoring system. Transfers to something called Golden Strike Gaming. I am sorry, did you say gaming? Like video games? No, ma'am. Golden Strike is an online casino. The room started spinning. My fiancé has been gambling our wedding money at an online casino. She gave me dates and amounts. Over $8,000 in wire transfers over the past 4 months. Sometimes 300, sometimes over 1,000, always to the same recipient. I thanked her and hung up, sat there for 20 minutes just breathing. Then I made another call, his former employer. Said I was from a company doing a background check and needed to verify employment dates. They confirmed he had been terminated in February for performance issues. No details beyond that, but enough. Next I called the vendors. The florist, the photographer, the DJ. None of them had any record of deposits from us. The florist was particularly confused because she remembered speaking with Ryan about packages. He had requested quotes, asked detailed questions, made it seem like we were ready to commit. But no money ever came through. She asked if we still wanted to book with her. I told her I would get back to her after I sorted some things out. Here is where it gets really messed up. I decided to look at his phone. He was in the shower, left it on the coffee table. I know I should not have, but at this point I was past caring about privacy violations. This man had violated my trust in every possible way. His text messages were revealing. Conversations with his mom that made my stomach turn. She wrote, "Did you tell her about the job yet?" He replied, "Not yet. She will freak out. I just need to find something new first, and then I will say I switched companies. She does not need to know there was a gap." His mom replied, "Honey, you cannot keep this up. What about the wedding fund?" He said, "I am handling it. Do not worry about it." His mother knows. She has known for months and said nothing to me. Another message chain with someone named Derek. I do not know a Derek. Scrolled up. "Derek, you still owe me 3,000, bro. Ryan, I know I will have it after the wedding. We are getting some cash gifts. I will pay you back." He is counting on our wedding gifts to pay back some guy I have never heard of. Another chain with Derek from earlier. Ryan, need the login for Golden Strike again. Forgot password. Derek, bro, you need to stop. You are going to lose everything. Ryan, just send it. I know what I am doing. One good night and I am back on top. He has a gambling buddy, someone who got him into this. Someone who keeps enabling him despite apparently knowing it is a problem. I put the phone back exactly where I found it. He came out of the shower, kissed me on the forehead, asked what I wanted for dinner. I smiled and said whatever you want. Felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. That night I made my first big move. I went to the bank the next morning and opened a new personal account, started redirecting my paychecks there. Quietly, no joint account deposits anymore. Then I called a lawyer. Consultation only, but enough to understand my options. Since we are not married, the money in the joint account is technically both of ours. But the debt is only his. Credit cards in his name, loans in his name. None of it can touch me unless we are legally married. The lawyer said something that stuck with me. Do not marry him until this is resolved. If you marry him, his debt can become your problem depending on your state. Get out now while you are still legally protected. So that is where I am. I have evidence. I have my own account. I have legal guidance. What I do not have is a plan for the actual confrontation, because every time I look at him, I see this stranger who has been performing a character for months, maybe longer. I'm starting to wonder what else he has lied about. Update 2-3 weeks since my last update. I confronted him, and then everything fell apart spectacularly, but not in the way I expected. I planned the conversation carefully, waited until a Sunday afternoon when we were both home, no distractions. I had printed out key evidence, bank statements, emails, the gambling wire transfers, placed them in a folder on my lap. We need to talk about something serious. His face went pale immediately. He knew, maybe he sensed the shift in my behavior over the past few weeks. I had been distant, careful, constantly leaving to run errands that were really meetings with lawyers and banks. What is going on? His voice cracked. I put the folder on the coffee table and opened it. Why don't you tell me what Golden Strike Gaming is? He stared at the papers like they were snakes about to bite him. Where did you get these? That is not an answer. Silence, then the tears started. The same tears from our first phone call 3 weeks ago. I have a problem. I know I have a problem. I was going to tell you. I was just trying to fix it first. I did not want you to see me like this. Like what? Like a liar. Like someone who pretends to go to work for 3 months while gambling away our wedding fund. His head snapped up. How do you know about the job? I know about everything, Ryan. The credit cards, the payday loans, the messages with Derek. Your mom knowing this whole time and never saying a word to me. He started hyperventilating, actually hyperventilating. For a moment I thought he might pass out. Please, please do not leave me. I will fix this. I will go to therapy. I will join a program. You are the only good thing in my life. If you leave, I have nothing. You have over $60,000 in debt. That is not nothing. You do not understand. He was pacing now, running his hands through his hair. The pressure. You do not understand the pressure. Your parents were paying for the venue and I could not let my family look poor in comparison. I kept trying to hit big, just one win to catch up. It kept getting worse and worse and I did not know how to stop. So you lied, for months, to my face. Every single day. I was ashamed. I'm still ashamed, but I love you. I know I messed up, but I love you. I said nothing, just sat there. He kept talking, promising changes, begging for another chance. I let him exhaust himself. Finally, I spoke. I'm not marrying you. He collapsed onto the couch. No, 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 please. We can postpone. We can work through this. Couples work through worse things. Couples work through things when there is honesty. When both people are facing reality together. You have been living in a fantasy where you get to pretend everything is fine while destroying our future behind my back. I cannot build a life with someone I cannot trust. He tried to grab my hands. I pulled away. Is there anything I can do? Name it. Anything. You can start by paying me back the $9,000 I deposited into that account. Then you can get professional help. But not with me, not anymore. He got angry then. The shift was instant. His face hardened. So that is it. 4 years and you just walk away. I am not walking away. I am protecting myself from someone who proved they will sacrifice my security for their addiction without a second thought. You are being dramatic. Lots of people have debt. Lots of people go through rough patches. Lots of people do not lie about having a job for 3 months. Lots of people do not gamble away their partner's savings. Lots of people do not plan to pay back loan sharks with wedding gift money. He went quiet again, then said something I will never forget. My mom was right. You were always too judgmental, too perfect. You could never just love someone through their flaws. I laughed, actually laughed out loud. Your mom, who knew you were unemployed and struggling and never once suggested you be honest with me. That mom, he did not respond. I am staying with my sister until I can figure out living arrangements. You can have the apartment. I do not want anything that connects me to this relationship anymore. Started packing. He followed me room to room, alternating between crying, bargaining, and getting angry again. I ignored all of it. 3 suitcases, essential items only, everything else could wait. At the door he made one last attempt. If you leave, I will tell everyone you abandoned me when I needed you most. I will tell your family you are cold and heartless. Go ahead. I have documentation of everything. Emails, bank statements, texts to Derek about Golden Strike. Your narrative is not going to hold up. His face went white. You would not. I would not what? Protect myself? I already am. Walked out. Drove to my sister's place. Cried for 2 hours. Then felt this strange sense of relief. Like a weight I did not even know I was carrying had finally lifted. But Ryan did exactly what he threatened. He called my parents before I could, gave them some story about how I was abandoning him during a mental health crisis, how I was being cruel and refusing to support him. My mom called me confused and concerned. What is going on? Ryan just called crying saying you left him out of nowhere, so I told her everything. The gambling, the fake job, the debt, the drained wedding fund. I sent her the screenshots. She was silent for a long time. Then she said, "That boy sat at my dinner table last month and talked about your future together. He looked me in the eye and lied. He has been lying to everyone, Mom." Well. She took a deep breath. I suppose I should cancel the venue deposit refund I was about to process. Let me handle your father. My dad was furious, not at me, at Ryan, at his parents for knowing and staying silent. He wanted to confront them directly. I talked him down, said it was not worth the energy. Then Ryan's mom called me. That was a fun conversation. I hear you are leaving my son during his darkest hour. Some people have no loyalty. Your son stole $18,000 from me to gamble online. He lied about having a job for 3 months. You knew and said nothing. You do not get to lecture me about loyalty. He has a problem. He needs support, not abandonment. He needs professional help, which you could have encouraged him to get months ago instead of helping him hide the truth from me. You do not understand what he has been through. No. You do not understand what I have been through. Watching my future evaporate because someone I trusted was too cowardly to tell me the truth. Goodbye, hung up, blocked her number, blocked Ryan, blocked anyone connected to that family. Update 3 final. It has been 2 months since I walked out. Time for the final update because I am finally ready to close this chapter completely. The weeks after leaving were hard. Living with my sister, processing the betrayal, grieving not just the relationship but the future I thought I was building. My therapist said something that stuck with me. You are not just mourning the relationship. You are mourning the version of him you believed existed. That person was never real. She was right. The Ryan I fell in love with was a performance. The real Ryan was hiding underneath, drowning in lies he kept building higher and higher. First, the practical stuff. I got my name off the apartment lease. Landlord was understanding once I explained the situation. Ryan is now solely responsible for rent he absolutely cannot afford. Not my problem anymore. The wedding vendors were surprisingly gracious. Most of them had not received deposits anyway, so there was nothing to refund. The florist actually said she had dealt with situations like this before. More common than you would think, she told me. People overcommit financially and then disappear. At least you found out before the wedding. My parents got their venue deposit back after I explained everything to the coordinator. She was sympathetic. Said she sees broken engagements more often than people realize. Usually over money or infidelity. Sometimes both. The relief I felt once all the logistics were handled was overwhelming. Like finally being able to breathe after holding my breath for months without realizing it. Then came the unexpected development. 3 weeks ago, I got a message on LinkedIn from someone named Megan. Her profile said she worked in marketing at a company I did not recognize. The message was short. "Hi, this is weird, but I think you should know something about Ryan. Can we talk?" My first instinct was to ignore it. I was done with Ryan drama, but something told me to respond. We met for coffee. Megan is 28, pretty clearly nervous. She explained that she had dated Ryan 5 years ago, before me. They were together for 2 years. She told me a story that made my blood run cold. It started the same way, she said. He lost his job but did not tell me, kept pretending everything was fine. I found out when I got a call from a collection agency about a credit card I did not know existed. He had opened it in my name. He forged my signature. I was on the hook for $12,000 in debt that he racked up. Took me 3 years to recover financially. Why did you not press charges? I thought about it, but he was so pathetic when I confronted him. Crying, begging, promising to get help. I felt sorry for him. Just wanted to move on. Biggest mistake of my life. How did you find me? Mutual friend mentioned his engagement was off. Said his fiancé found out about some gambling problem. I looked you up. Wanted to warn you in case he tries to come back. He has been trying. Texts from new numbers since I blocked him. Emails to my work account. I have ignored all of them. Good. Keep ignoring. Megan leaned forward. He does not change. I thought maybe after what happened with me he would get help. Clearly not. I asked her if there were others. She said she did not know for sure but suspected. A pattern like his does not develop overnight. We exchanged numbers. She said if I ever needed documentation for legal purposes, she would provide a statement. She still has records from her experience. Walking away from that coffee meeting, I felt something shift. This was not about me failing or making bad choices. This was about a person who systematically deceives partners, who finds people willing to trust him and exploits that trust until there is nothing left. I was not a fool for loving him. I was a target. Last week I got one final piece of closure. Ryan's brother reached out. We had gotten along reasonably well during the relationship. He was always the more grounded one in that family. Hey, I know you probably do not want to hear from anyone connected to Ryan, but I wanted to apologize on behalf of our family. What he did to you was wrong, and my mom's response was even worse. I appreciated that. Asked how Ryan was doing. Not great. He moved back in with our parents, still not working. Pretty sure he is still gambling because money keeps disappearing from the house. Mom keeps making excuses. Dad is fed up. It is a mess. I am sorry to hear that. I hope he gets help eventually. Me too, but honestly, he has been enabled his whole life. Our parents always bailed him out. I do not think he knows how to face consequences. You getting out was the smartest thing you could have done. Thank you for saying that. For what it is worth, I always thought you were too good for him. He knew it too. I think that is why he worked so hard to hide everything. He knew if you saw the real him, you would leave. I thought about that for days afterward. He knew. On some level, he always knew the facade would eventually crumble. He just kept hoping he could fix things before that happened. Kept gambling on one more win, one more lie, one more chance to get ahead of the collapse. But you cannot outrun reality forever. So here I am, single, apartment hunting, working on myself in therapy. Not dating yet, but not closed off to it either. Just taking things slow. I learned a lot from this experience. Learned to trust my instincts when something feels off. Learned that love is not enough when trust is broken. Learned that some people will choose their addictions and their lies over their partners every single time, not because they do not love you, but because they love their escape more. I also learned that walking away is not giving up. Sometimes walking away is the bravest thing you can do. It means choosing yourself when someone else refuses to. To anyone reading this who is in a similar situation, trust the evidence over the promises. Document everything. Protect yourself legally and financially before confronting. And do not let anyone convince you that loyalty means accepting disrespect. You deserve someone who chooses honesty even when it is hard. Someone who faces problems with you instead of hiding them from you. Someone who sees you as a partner, not a safety net. I do not hate Ryan. I feel sorry for him. He is trapped in a cycle he cannot seem to break, surrounded by enablers who will never force him to change. That is a sad way to live, but it is not my life anymore. I am building something new now. Something based on truth and self-respect. It is quieter than the drama-filled chaos of the past few months. Some might call it boring, I call it peace. And honestly, peace is exactly what I needed.